Crown Forest celebrating Pride Month, and long before the Castro was considered a meeting place for the LGBTQ plus community, a little city in the North Bay was a safe haven.
Yeah, Crown Forest Terisa Estacio takes us back in time when the seaside city of Sausalito provided shelter and support during a challenging time.
First gay bar in Sausalito in 1952.
I met up with Sausalito resident Joel Carr to unravel the past behind this seaside city and how it provided a safe refuge for hundreds back in the day.
Sausalito is one of the most gay towns in the 40s and 50s in the country.
Carr explains during that time to be gay was especially dangerous, even more so for one group.
The reason that the whole gay culture evolved in this town is that right after the war, all the people that were 1.2 million soldiers were being discharged a month in the U.S. And of course, tens of thousands of them ended up here at the Presidio where they were discharged. And they ended up coming over here to be safe because they could have been discovered by their officers or anybody else, even though they had been discharged.
Besides what is now Scoma, a restaurant on Bridgeway, Carr took me to the Chamber of Commerce.
The Chamber of Commerce space was the premier gay bar in town here. It was called the Sausalito Inn. It was a safe place, although not entirely safe, because after the Golden Gate Bridge had been built, some of the cops and the enforcement people would come across the bridge, along with all of the other of those 8 gay bars. This bar had a buzzer system where the doorman had a buzzer, and if he or she saw one of those enforcement people coming up the street, would buzz and let everybody inside the bar know so that they could straighten up.
Carr also brought me to Sailor's, a popular Mexican restaurant in town with its own fabled past.
What happened was the houseboat community up the Bridgeway here, which was becoming very popular in the early 50s, was home to the beatnik generation, and then shortly after that, the hippie generation. And there were lots and lots of gay people who lived there, and this was just about the closest place they could come as gay people.
Carr feels so passionately about Sausalito's gay bar scene and its importance. He is working on a book to document and peel back the layers of how it played a pivotal role during a time when being gay for many was a closely guarded secret.
You know, I have to say that the fact that almost not a single resident of Sausalito knows of this history. They have no idea that there were 8 gay bars in Sausalito in the 50s. And so I've been trying to talk to a lot of people about this. I've taken oral histories from people who were there, who are quite old at this point, and I'm anxious to capture as much as I can of this history.
Piecing together the past to better understand the significance of one small city as we honor Pride this time of year. In Sausalito, Terisa Estacio, Crown 4 News.